Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Sunday. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I'm on here today. I know it has been a very long time since I have been online, since I have been recording, and well, not even really recording because I record a lot of things, right? I have a little one. So I'm usually recording a lot of the times, but I haven't really been posting. And it's been a little bit going on with that, right? So I just wanted to chat with you all for just a bit. There has kind of been this tug of war internally with myself. And if you guys are joining me on this journey, I know I just did a hair video with my little one because it was hair day. Those are always interesting. But as far as life goes, for me, whenever things start getting tough, whenever they start getting overwhelming, whenever life just starts really lifing, I tend to retreat at times. And there's different purposes for that. Everything has its time, everything has its place, everything has a season. For me, it's generally to sit with self. And that's not something I necessarily apologize for, because that's one of the things that I believe that we are missing greatly in this upcoming generation, that we are missing greatly in this upcoming time and season. I think sometimes people are a little too afraid to sit with themselves, to face their own weakness, to face their own struggle. So we feel it with all these other things. We feel it with podcasts. We feel it with social media. We feel it with busyness, just being busy, right? Which seems like a good thing. But when you use those things as distractions or detractors from really sitting with self and sitting with God and really evaluating where you are, I think that is just as problematic, right? So I have gone through a time where I just had to sit with me. I had to deal with me. I had to wrestle with me, because there are things in life, and not bad, right? So I used to come from this whole season of like where life was just crazy. And y'all, please, I'm gonna have to do my hair I'm doing this video because we got to get ready for church and stuff like that. I just watched it. I don't want to go looking like a little, wet little labradoodle or anything like that. So I am gonna have to do my hair while I'm doing this video. So y'all, excuse me for that. But one of the things that for me is super important is really, when life starts happening, to just sit with self, understand self, and understand the season that I'm in. And for me, like, it used to be a time where everything was just going wrong. I lose my keys every other day. Something was happening with my finances, where my bank account was, you know what I'm saying, squealing for the breaks, where it was always something, turmoil that was happening in that time. And I was, even as crazy as it was, I was most familiar with seasons of hardship. I was most familiar with seasons of struggle. I was most familiar with seasons of trauma, right? And in this new season of life is really kind of different because I'm at a place in life, I'm in a place of life where I could truly choose to be comfortable. And I think that there is a difference between being content and being comfortable. I am content in all that God has given me. I am content in all his blessings. I am content and so highly thankful. I am so highly grateful for all the Lord has given me, all that he has allowed my hands to reach, all that he has allowed me to possess, all that he's allowed me to come across, all that he's allowed me to learn. I am content with that. Because the Lord didn't have to give it to me. He didn't have to bless me with it. He didn't have to bring me to a season where I'm no longer in turmoil. He didn't have to bring me to a season where I can truly be at peace. He didn't have to bring me to that season. So that is my contentment. But I've also been in a place where I have confused me being content with me being comfortable. So I have been in a battle with myself. I've been in a battle with myself between what people applaud me for and what I know I'm supposed to do, and then what I'm capable of. I have been in this battle with myself, right? Because there's a certain level, there's a certain thing, there's a certain understanding, there's a certain thing that God has opened up to me, and I know where I am still shooting for. I still know the heights, I still know the depths that I am still shooting for. And I haven't made it there yet. I haven't quite made it there yet. So even though I am content, I have settled for being comfortable for a place that God has not left me. I have become comfortable with a place that God has not deemed as my destination. And there is a difference between allowing people surrounding you, all in good nature, to applaud you, to compliment you on the things that you are doing. Why? Because the vision of what people will see us as, the vision of who people will see us as, will always be much smaller than who God of the universe, who God has created and has ordained us to be. Their vision will always be much smaller. So I had to come to a place within myself to not get wrapped up, and I don't mean a literal applause, but I mean in others thinking, yeah, you're doing great, you're doing wonderful. And then knowing what God has actually put inside of me, and I'm not even fully aware. And I think that's the part that scares me, because even from the little bit that I do know, I know that it's more than where I'm at now. And then to think that He has even greater than that, and that He would dare to trust me with it, that He would dare to trust me with it. And here I am at a place in life where it's like I'm just sitting at the bus stop, just resting there, just God has a whole other destination. This was just one simple place. It was one simple stopping point. It was one simple place where I was just supposed to be a place of rest, but not necessarily a place of relaxation, not necessarily a place where I was supposed to come and camp out, not necessarily a place that I was just supposed to come and stay. And I don't mean the physical place, but I mean spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I wasn't supposed to camp out here. And the fact that God would trust me with more, and I dare not go after it, it bothers me. I wrestle with that daily. And what it looks like practically in my life are the simple things that we normally overlook. What it looks like practically in my life is making sure that meals are prepped in my household. What it looks like practically in my life is making sure that maybe my daughter's clothes are picked out the night before, because I stay late, right? I am always late. And that's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that is within my control. But instead of me working at that thing, instead of me being more intentional in that area, I have become comfortable. I have become comfortable at being okay. And the problem with that is that the world will always applaud mediocrity. Always. The world will always applaud mediocrity, because that's where the majority lies. Always. Hype you up for mediocrity. And what I'm realizing, and even today I was listening to Myron Golden, But the more and more I'm having another little one, and boy, that was a part of this too. Like really just coming to the realization, I'm about to have multiples. And I'm not just about to have multiple children, I'm about to have multiple girls. I'm about to have multiple young ladies. I'm about to have multiple women be responsible for raising that through my household, coming through my hands. God has the ultimate responsibility of how their life turns out, but they're coming through my hands. They're coming through my rearing. And the weight of that just hit me and said, wow, you got to get some things in order. Because more of what I teach them will not be the things that I say from my mouth, but it will be the things that I show through my actions. And I have to make sure that it's very clear, even in my actions, that yes, we want to be content. We want to be content. And that way the devil has no hold over us. When we are content with the blessings of God, when we are content with what God has given us, when we are content with knowing that the first miracle of life is at the breath that we take every single morning, when we recognize that and when we understand that, when we understand and we are content with what the Lord has already blessed us with, the devil has no carrot to dangle in front of our faces. He has no carrot to dangle in front of our faces. There's no money that he can offer us. There is no world that I'll give you the world, just like he tempted Jesus. There is no world, there's nothing else that he can offer us that will seem sweeter than being in the presence of God, than being in the will of God, than being used by God Almighty. There's nothing sweeter that can be offered when you are in a place of contentment. But I also have to live a life that shows them, that displays, that helps them understand that even though we are content, we are not comfortable. We are not comfortable with mediocrity. We are not comfortable with average. We are not comfortable with just enough. We are not comfortable with having anything less than what God has ordained for us, has set aside for us. He stored up blessings for us. He has stored up blessings for us. And reaching for anything less than that is unimaginable. It is unimaginable. Why? Because he paid the ultimate sacrifice for it. He paid the ultimate sacrifice for it. His only son, he paid the price for it. He paid the price that my soul, my mind, my will, my emotions might be free to accept, to obtain, to have the capacity to withhold all that he has for me. And that's important to me. That's important. So that has been my struggle. And man, have I struggled. And it's difficult for me, for someone like me, to get then on a platform or to take such a private space, such a private area, and make that public. And the only thing that made it different for me, and this is not everybody's journey, I know that this is something that God had told me a while ago. He actually gave me the blueprint for it. I have videos about God giving me this blueprint for this thing that I've just literally again let drop, right? But the thing that changed it for me, a mindset that shifted for me as far as when I show up and how I show up. One, I need to show up regardless. I need to show up for my household. I need to show up for my daughters. I need to show up for my husband. I need to show up for my team and my business. I need to show up, right? But I also need to show up for whoever it is here, for whoever it is who may be in the same space, for whoever it is where God says, no, like this can't wait until you have reached the other side. This cannot wait until you seem to have reached the point of victory. This cannot wait until you have reached a point where you feel like you're presentable. An area I've struggled with most of my life is trying to get to a place where I just feel presentable, where I feel worthy to be in the space that I'm in, where I feel accepted, where I feel comfortable being me, just being me. I don't want to be anybody else. I don't need to be some superstar. I don't need to be all these things. Just being comfortable being me. I struggled with that a good portion of my life. And for some reason, especially in today's climate where there's so much going on, there's so much on the internet, there's so much online, there's so much that people could get their hands into. There's so many other voices out there that people are listening to besides the voice of the Lord. Nothing is going to change, not even my voice. Nothing is going to change or replace the voice of God. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Even if you're on this journey with me, even if you feel like you are traveling in the same, like, man, that sounds like me. Even if it sounds like you, there is nothing that is going to change if you do not get in the presence of God, if you do not get into the word of God, if you do not allow God to speak to you, there is nothing that's going to change. But if for a moment, something that I say or something that I do, a smile that I put on your face, if there is something that happens that shifts the atmosphere of your own life, that shifts the atmosphere within your brain, that shifts the atmosphere of your mind and your thought process, if there's something that I could say that will shift the atmosphere of someone who may be in a position that may be stuck like me and point you back to the Father, that's exactly what I want to do. Because it is necessary in this time and in this season. It is necessary for those of us who are raising, and my heart goes out. I understood before motherhood and, people who had children. I've always loved kids my entire life. I've just been drawn to them and making sure that all our children have a voice and all of these things. I have been drawn to that my entire life. But there is something about now experiencing that, where I have an extra passion and an urge for mothers, for motherhood, for those who are trying to do it right, for those who have their children. Maybe you have your children at home with you, but you're also working, right? Or you go out to work and then you have to come back home to your children in your house. So I have an extra passion and an extra urgency within my spirit that calls for mothers to raise up as mothers once again. Do not leave your children behind. Do not leave your household behind to chase that career, to chase that next thing, to chase that thing. I believe with all of my heart that there is a way, because there's still a God. I believe that there is a way to meet the financial obligations of your household, to go after the things that God has given you, and to not leave our children's, our husbands, our households behind. There's a way. And have I figured it out yet? Not all of it. Do I understand it all? No. I'm still trying to figure out schedules. I'm still trying to figure out routines. I'm still trying to figure out when snack time needs to be versus when nap time needs to be versus when I can get this report out that I need to get out to my team. I am still trying to figure that out. But as I figure it out, I know that there is a way, because there's still a God. And please understand me. I know that as mothers, we juggle so many different hats. We do so many different things. We encompass, we embody so much. I know that we have a lot going on. We have a lot on our plate. It's like, I know when we were kids, we used to watch those little TV shows, the cartoons, where they would have all the plates stacked on this one little stick, and they all be stacked up on the stick. And it's like they're walking, trying not to drop it. And eventually something's going to fall. Eventually something's going to drop. Some ball is going to drop. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm trying to juggle everything. But one thing that I know is that even in that same illustration, my God is not some tiny little stick. One thing I know is that he's a mighty God, that he's an awesome God, that he is one that could hold everything that we have. And it never fall, but it has to be God. Every hat that he's called you to wear, everything that he's given you to do, everything he's brought your hands to do, you are capable of doing it. And the first thing that I am personally doing this week, because I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself. The first thing that I am doing this week is I am making the decision that I am worth it. I am making the decision that I am capable of doing it. I am making the decision that I am competent enough to do it. I am making that decision within myself. And this isn't just fluff talk. It isn't just, hey, let me just ramp myself up. Let me just fake it until I make it. Because that's how I grew up. That's what I was taught. You can just fake it until you make it. Well, that's not the same thing. I don't want to fake it until I make it. I want to be intentional. I want to be intentional about identifying in each area of my life what's going on. I want to be intentional about facing those weaknesses in each and every area of my life and addressing them head on. And it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's something that I have been doing even while being offline, but it's not easy. Nor was it ever promised to be easy. Nobody said that this will be easy. And if they did, they lied. They were on a different path. Because the road to excellence is not easy. I tell my husband all the time, I'm not looking to be nobody's superwoman, okay? Please understand that. I'm not looking to be anybody's superwoman. I don't feel like it's necessary that I just have to do everything myself just because, so I can be deemed superwoman, right? That's not my goal. But my goal is excellence. My goal is excellence in everything I touch. My goal is excellence in everything I do. My goal is excellence in everything that God has given me, everything that he has entrusted me with. When you think about it in that way, this is something the Lord has entrusted you with. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice but to take it seriously. You don't have a choice but to do it with care. You don't have that choice. Anyway, that's a new week. That's my heart for this week and kind of entering into. And guys, I can't promise you that I'm going to be on this app every single day, every single week, or whatever the case may be. I can't promise that right now. I know the blueprint that God has given me daily is what the blueprint is. Right now, I need to get to a space for myself that allows me to show up in every aspect every day. And I believe that's why God put the task in front of me in the first place. He's a funny God. But I will tell you this. The day y'all see me consistently in this space, in this arena, in this period, this time frame, and y'all see me daily, y'all just know the devil better watch out. Your girl done figured it out. You guys have a good week. Let me go ahead and get to this head for my husband get home. We gotta go to church. I'll talk to y'all soon.